Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to make jungle in the style of Tim Reaper, inspired by his tracks Comfort Zone, Cityscapes and Full Moon. The project file, samples and presets are available for a small contribution in the description, although a Splice membership is required to download a few of the samples, with links made available for easy relinking inside Ableton. Please do like, subscribe and leave questions or suggestions for future videos below. Our BPM is 160, but our key isn't defined since Reaper's style is jazzy and I wanted the project to reflect this. For example, the bass line is in B minor but rooted in C. However, neither of the basses play a B and some of the notes from the chords are Fs, which aren't in that scale. I've gone for a maximalist arrangement akin to Comfort Zone, but you could go for something more minimal. First, we have the drums. I've layered the amen and think breaks as Reaper does in Comfort Zone. I also noticed him using different snares from the same break, which is a great way of making your drums feel less repetitive, and something I've done here. I've used mainly audio for these breaks, and that's my preferred approach for intricate jungle style programming. I'll just solo the break elements one by one. They're essentially layered, although there are some points where the snares aren't, such as during bar 5 when I wanted the shout from the think break. I've also pitched these snares down at points, as Reaper does this in Cityscapes. And I've used some volume automation to vary the level of some of the hits so the breaks feel more human. You could do this within the audio, but automation was the easiest way to transfer from one channel to another. Volume automation has also been used for the think break fill at the end of bar 8. Plus manual MIDI note automation increasing in velocity. There are various types of saturation on each channel, and a filter with modulation on the amen fill, and a phaser on the channel too. Next, we have the high percussion. If I mute these in the mix, you can hear what they add. We have this MPC groove applied to everything in the drums bus, but only at 20% since I didn't want too much swing. On the group, there's drum bus, EQ and reverb via send. And here I'm using an edited empty club preset. Next, we have the basses. There's an 808 and a respace. The 808 is a sample with very mild drum bus applied. And then we have the respace. We have this subby saw waveform taken down by 2 octaves with its unison at 7. The sub oscillator is activated too, and it's a sine wave also taken down by 2 octaves. Both oscillators are running into this low pass filter with its cutoff taken down and drive increased. There's distortion in the effects too. On the channel, there's a mono utility. Asira pans the unison voices. And on the group, I have EQ, parallel compression, and reverb via A. Next, we have the effects. Which are this dub siren and ambience. These have drum bus and echo on the group, plus reverb via A. This is the melodic group. First, we have this DMB stab. Here we have some jazzy 7 chords, and these have been transposed up or down and are in octaves. With both techniques common in jungle and rave music. In Serum, we have a sine wave with FM from B active. Oscillator B is also a sine wave, but with its level taken down, and it's been taken down by 1 octave. There's a low pass filter with its cutoff modulated by LFO1, which I'm using like a step sequencer. Meaning that over the course of 1 bar, each filter articulation is slightly different. Adding resonance helps emphasize this effect. There's distortion in the effects, and in the matrix, velocity is linked to amplitude. On the channel, there's chorus and echo. Next, we have the bell, which is a sample. This is layered with the previous patch at points. And again, they're in octaves. Believe some of these are 9 chords. Again, my theory isn't great, so if anybody wants to correct me in the comments, feel free. Reaper uses chords like these in all the tracks I've mentioned, particularly Cityscapes. On the channel, we have drum bus, chorus, and echo. Next, we have the organ. The longer chords are layered with the previous sounds. In oscillator A, we have a sine wave with its unison at 3. FM from B is modulated by LFO1. Oscillator B is another sine wave taken up by 1 octave, but unusually for an FM sound, the level hasn't been taken all the way down. We've also added organ noise to make the patch feel more authentic. LFO1 is also modulating the cutoff of this low pass filter. In the effects, we have a compressor, EQ, and phaser. The phaser creates the warbly textures heard in lots of jungle, and this will be more evident with the next sound. In the matrix, we have velocity affecting amplitude, LFO2 modulating amplitude to create further warbling, and LFO3 doing something similar, but this time with the pitch. On the channel, we have drum bus and echo. Next, we have the pad. This was inspired by a Stranger video, and I'll link this in the description. We have a saw wave in the sub oscillator, Then for oscillator A, we have this detuned Moog shape. And for oscillator B, I'm using the bottle blow waveform taken up by 7 semitones. Notice the unison and detuning on both oscillators. The noise oscillator is also active. All the oscillators have been routed to a bandpass filter with its cutoff modulated by LFO1. In the effects, there's distortion and phaser. A similar phase effect is heard on a pad in Full Moon. Then we have the Flute, which is a Splice sample. And it's been pitched up by 1 semitone. There's echo on the channel. Reaper likes using samples with a live or acoustic feel, so I wanted to make sure to include something like this. Then there's a string sample. A similar sound appears in Full Moon. On the group, we have drum bus, EQ, and bass mono, plus reverb via A. Finally, we have the vocals, also from Splice. These have been pitched up 4 semitones, and for the last 2 samples, 6 semitones respectively, using the complex Pro algorithm with a bit of formant shifting. On the channel, there's EQ and an echo with heavy feedback and reverb inside the plugin. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.